Kia ora everyone. I had the best of intentions to do a Facebook Live from Te Puia with an amazing geyser in the background. Instead, I'm in a van on the way to the airport because I didn't leave enough time for a Facebook Live. So forgive me for that, and hopefully no one will get motion sickness from the unsteady holding of my camera. But look, I'm here in Rotorua for a visit and a chance to talk with local council here, tourism operators, those who work in accommodation, hospitality, adventure tourism, just about the impact of COVID here and what we can do together to work alongside those most affected. The last time I was here was I think almost to the day 2 months ago. It was the last place I visited before we went into lockdown, and it's the first place I visited outside of the Wellington region since that we've come out, and for really good reason. Obviously there's a number of hotspots, amazing places to visit around Aotearoa, New Zealand, that are really a centre for tourism, but Rotorua really clearly is one of those places, and so a great place for me to come and hear again how things have been going here. One of the things that's come through really strongly is just how important the wage subsidy has been to the sector. But of course, an acknowledgement that with that running through till August, the work that the industry is doing together to think about how do they pivot towards the domestic tourism market. Now, interestingly, a few facts for you here. 60% of our tourism industry actually is supported by domestic tourism. So those New Zealanders going out and experiencing their own backyard. But interestingly, New Zealanders also spend about $9 billion on international travel. So the question for me is, how do we encourage Kiwis to make sure that they go out and they have that experience, and when they go and visit somewhere, they don't just stay with family and friends, but they get out and about and visit some of the amazing places and offering tourism offerings that we have. So our operators are thinking about that too, and so we're going to keep working with them on how we can continue to promote that domestically. The other issue for us, of course, then, beyond the domestic, is what we can do to get that trans-Tasman bubble going. Australian tourists are a big part of the market here, and it'll be great to see that coming back, to be able to see that return here as well. So we're doing what we can to make sure we support all that work being done at the border. I'm going to walk with you. We've got to go inside and get ready for our plane. Make sure that we get all that work done at the border, so when we're in a position here in New Zealand and when Australia is in a position to safely reopen borders, that we can do that. So those are a couple of things just on the horizon for our industry. But my message here today is New Zealand has had a thriving tourism industry before, and we will again. It's just the support we give one another through that pathway before we can get back to that level of normality. Some of the ideas being bounced around, thanks Grant, some of the ideas being bounced around is just how can we support New Zealanders to make the most of travelling around the country, and some have been saying, well, if they had a bit more flexibility in terms of their travel and their leave, they might be able to do that. I hear lots of people suggesting we should have a 4-day week. Ultimately, that really sits between employers and employees, but as I've said, there's lots of things we've learned about COVID and just that flexibility of people working from home, the productivity that can be driven out of that. Really encourage people to think about, if they're an employer and in a position to do so, to think about whether or not that is something that would work for their workplace, because it certainly would help tourism all around the country. So we've also in the budget announced a $400 million package, which is all about supporting along us, the government and tourism, working together to make sure that if we have, for instance, really significant ventures that might need to go into hibernation for a while, that we're able to support that happening, but that we also develop a plan together between government and the tourism industry as we work through the next period of time, because things will be a bit different for us. But of course, that's just one part of our longer term plan together. I heard from the industry that things are looking quite good bookings wise for Queen's birthday, so that's a shining light this weekend. A lot of people coming down from the Waikato to be here in Rotorua, so if you live local, if you are in driving distance and feel like it's no limit, if you want to fly as well, you can do so. That's where I'm at the airport right now. Do just think about exploring your backyard. I keep thinking about that letter I got from Judith. Not someone I know, but we're on first name basis now, not that long ago, saying when she was able to, she would get a haircut and she would see New Zealand. So it's my message for everyone. Grab that haircut, go and see New Zealand. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll keep giving you updates on the work that we're doing together, but right now I suspect I'm holding up this plane, so I better go. Thanks for joining me.